Hey, true believers. Chris Matt coming at you with Batman Superman #1. This was a series that I did not want to read. I picked up a copy of this a long time ago and I read it. And at the time, it just struck me wrong. I did not like it. Reason being is at this time, the print date on this was October 2019. We just come off the heels of the 7-part The Batman Who Laughs series by Scott Snyder, which was absolutely amazing and brought a whole lot of the Batman Who Laughs to a boiling point and kind of a catharsis. I kind of feel like this series should have maybe waited a year or so, give the other run a time to breathe. But it was like right after issue 7, and we kind of think that the Batman Whose Laughs has been defeated for a while. He's going to go lick his wounds. It was almost a month later or so, this book came out. And I was just like, oh, good grief. How can we top what we just read where our Batman almost went evil? But now, 2021, I went back and it's actually decent read. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And it kind of started like as any other comic book. We see that Jimmy Olsen has gotten to capture a picture of the Bat, and everyone's like, how did you get a picture of Batman? And I like how Jimmy's like, oh, I got a tip from a good buddy of mine. And so you kind of see Clark smiling, and then when you're Superman, and you see Batman shrouded. There's a situation at the Justice League satellite. You're needed immediately. So we're thinking, okay, well, what's gonna go on here? You know, we see Superman flying into space to go to the Watchtower. And what I like here is it says, we would never have to give, me and Barissa have always talked about how we got along. Our common agreement was that we would never give in to the devil on our shoulder and hurt our enemies the way they hurt us. If we act like them, we become them. He worries too much. And Superman saying, what's wrong, Bruce? You sound different. Do I? I hadn't noticed. Is that another way I seem foolish to you? Small? And you're thinking, wait a minute, what's going on? Where's the action? You know, where's our world's finest teaming up? And then here, we're kind of launched back into what happened in the original Dark Knight's Metal, the Batman Who Laughs, how when he went evil. So we notice that we're not in our Earth. We're just like, oh, wow. And we just see some horribleness going on here. Like, I mean, look at the Red Tornado, Martian Manhunter, Diana, the Flash, Plastic Man. And then we see Superman cough, and he goes, the air is filled with kryptonite gas. You are dead the moment you entered the satellite. Your world won't let you escape it, will it? Now your home is with you, in your lungs. So I don't want to give away kind of what happens here, but we realize at this point that we are not in our world. We are in the Batman Who Laughs universe. And kind of get a little more backstory into what caused him to do what he did. Then we jump into our universe, Earth Zero as they call it here. And we see Batman talking about how, you know, the Batman Who Laughs has all these infused batarangs that are going to infect other people. And I like how Gordon's like, I know all this, Batman. I spent enough time with that freak. I'm not talking to you, Commissioner. And we open up to this gorgeous splash page. We see Superman holding Blackgate Penitentiary. He has Croc knocked down and out for the count, and I just like how Batman goes. Now, before we get any further into this is called Who Are the Secret Six, Part 1. Joshua Williamson, who's a really good writer. I enjoyed his work on The Flash. He's writing. David Marquez, artist. Alejandro Sanchez doing the colors. John J. Hill doing the lettering. Marquez and Sanchez did the cover. Here's everyone else associated with the book. And Batman was created by Bill Finger with Bob Kane, and Superman was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. I always get their last names confused. But this splash page, my goodness, I love the Dutch upward angle, very dynamic, brings you in to the moment, and then what each character is thinking. Bruce thinks I'm showing off. Show off. Part of being Batman is the theatrics. I tried out for Hamlet in Smallville once. Moss said there can't be a superpower for everything. People think I have a flair for the dramatic, but Clark's not acting. He is genuinely this person. Meaning, Superman says, hey, I had to stop for a minute, had some trouble, hope I'm not stepping on your toes. And then Superman says, he's more stressed than usual, and that's saying something. Clark's nothing like me. And that's a good thing. So the whole setup of this book is a kid named Danny has been kidnapped. Superman's like, I don't mind helping you, but why do you need me? And he kind of brings into the Batman Who Laughs involved. Now, what I like here, and this is kind of a spoiler, so if you haven't read this, pause this video and go get the book, read it, and come back. And you're back. So, Superman takes off. Don't worry, Commissioner. We'll find him. I know you will. Clack. And I just love the ominousness of this panel. Jet black, wide eyes, and a single. Really sets the tone for the rest of the book. Now, with that said, I think what initially turned me off was the first issue is kind of a build-up issue. We see our two heading to the location, which, as Batman knows, it's Crime Alley, Park Row. And that's kind of how Batman knew that this was the One Who Laughs location. And Bruce is asking, if I ever went evil, do you have a contingency plan in place? And Superman's like, I don't think in those terms. And he's saying, you don't think like me. No one thinks like you. And so you see how they can butt heads, but that's why they're the world's finest, because opposites attract and usually can help one another and build one another up, and that's where their friendship works. And so we get some really cool action with the Batman Who Laughs security systems, and here we see his lair. And oh my goodness, is it terrifying. Bruce said, I always thought of your Batcave as a glimpse into your mind. You know, the giant penny, the dinosaur, the collection of Batmobiles. And he says, mementos of your victories and failures. It showed me how sentimental you are. You mean human. I mean, you're nothing like the Batman Who Laughs. And Bruce, like, I wish that were true. But here we see the casting for the infected batarangs that the Batman Who Laughs using, hence why it says, who are the Secret Six? So this is kind of how it sets up that. These are batarangs that were forged from nth metal. And again, I like the symbolicness of the chess table here. It goes, this is a message. Both sides are to draw. Any move from either player will result in a loss. And so I like how Batman tries, or Superman, should I say, tries to outwit the Batman Who Laughs, which gives, instead, the ploy of what the Batman Who Laughs is doing. And essentially leads our world's bat to say we've had no idea who we can trust. And it's already started to sow a little bit of distrust between our two heroes in this book. Now, we are introduced to Billy Batson. And this splash page here, when he goes, Shazam! Just absolutely gorgeous. And I like how, as this is happening, Batman says, Superman and I have an ongoing debate about what would happen if we were to use the same tactics as our enemies. It always ends the same. Basically saying that if heroes ever started to act like their enemies, they would be unstoppable. So I'm going to leave the review here on this absolutely gorgeous panel that looks like a type of painting with some Kirby crackle. Just gorgeous, gorgeous page. Because I don't want to give away the reveal of what happens when we see Shazam happens from a Robin Crow. It makes me want to go back and read the entire Infected series. So maybe one of these days I will. Like I said, after I've had some time to breathe, 3 years, it's not so bad now. But I feel like DC really rushed this and hurried it along. And I think all of us were just feeling a little bit of burnout on the Batman Who Laughs, and we needed a break from him. Even though he hasn't made an appearance yet, it's still the fact that he looms over everything that we're reading. So I'm hoping next issue, which there's a particular reason why I want to go over issue 2, and if I can find one, I'll show you why. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed issue 1, please first and foremost support your local comic shop. It is a decent read, and I love the dynamics of our heroes here, how one's more of a, kind of the good boy versus the bad boy, in lack of a better terms. But that's what's always made their team-ups that much more meaningful and dynamic, and why they're like the cornerstones of DC Comics along with Wonder Woman. Now, if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little world finest bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all and hearing your feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.